Anyway, I'll tell you the story later.
Okay, let's call the meeting back to order. Okay, we will now continue with our agenda. We have item C1, which is a public hearing to consider the new charter petition for, excuse the pronunciation, Kavod Elementary Charter School. If I didn't pronounce that right, please tell me. Superintendent.
Thank you, President Evans. And we'll begin by opening remarks from our charter school office. Moises Aguirre will present.
Good evening, members of the board, Superintendent. This is a public hearing in order to consider the Kavod Elementary Charter School, and this is in order to establish a new K-5 program. And again, at this point, it is a public hearing, so no action is necessary at this time. Thank you.
Okay, so we have public speakers here. Okay, let me see here. Tamar Schnall, David Yeager, Aaron Listhouse, Harriet Herman, and Michael Rosenbaum. You'll each have 2 minutes. We need 3 minutes?
That's what we had.
Okay, well, we've only got 5 people, so if when you see the yellow light, please try to wrap up so we can get to the other people, okay?
We have stickers for you.
Oh, stickers. I'm sure we're not allowed to accept gifts, but okay. But how could I turn this one down? Thank you.
President Evans, board members, and Superintendent Koba. My name is Tamar Caspi-Schnall, and I am the lead petitioner and board president of Kavod Elementary Charter School. The mission of Kavod Elementary is to promote academic excellence, utilizing a modern Hebrew-English language program within a service learning environment, and with a deep commitment to the development of responsible citizens who can thrive in our global community. Our vision at Kavod Elementary is to create a dynamic community of learners who strive for academic excellence and achievement, and who become proficient Hebrew and English speakers. Through investing in our teachers and educational programs, our students will be continually challenged in order to meet their full potential. We believe in creating a diverse community where students work together, actively engaging in service learning projects in order to become productive members of society. In this environment, our students will develop the tools needed to achieve success in their continued education, careers, and life. Kavod is the Hebrew word for honor and respect. It is a word of great strength and importance in the Hebrew language, and these are the traits we want to instill in our students' lives. Kavod Elementary is modeling its educational program after the Hebrew Language Academy in Brooklyn and is a member of the Hebrew Charter School Center network of schools. As a member of HCSC, Kavod will have access to funding, technical assistance, curriculum, and professional development. With this support, we are confident we can successfully serve our students, deliver the highest caliber educational program, and build a sustainable school. You will hear more about HCSC from Aaron next. We believe all students are entitled to a comprehensive education, preparing them to take personal responsibility for tomorrow's world. We will offer an academically rigorous K-5 curriculum, including intensive instruction in modern Hebrew. Students will be active learners, and we will address individual student needs through differentiated instruction. Harriet will be presenting more on our curriculum. We are looking to serve children in the 92111 zip code, attracting students from Kearney Mesa, Linda Vista, Miramar, and the greater San Diego area to create a culturally rich and socioeconomically diverse student population.
Thank you. We need to wrap up. The buzzer already went off.
So wrap up?
Yeah, well, just one more sentence. Sorry.
92111 has an average FRPM rate of 70%, far above the district, and 4 of those 6 schools in the area are in PI, and only 1 other charter school is north of the 8. This will create an educational alternative of excellence for parents seeking an educational opportunity for their children. And Michael will be speaking on behalf of as a parent.
Okay, thank you. Okay, because we have a lot of people to speak after you, also please be sure to observe the lights right there when the yellow light comes on.
Good evening. My name is Aaron Listhouse, and I'm the Executive Director of the Hebrew Charter School Center. The Hebrew Charter School Center is a nonprofit organization which was founded in 2009 to support the development of Hebrew language charter schools across the country dedicated to academic excellence. Currently, we have 2 schools in operation in Brooklyn, New York, and 1 in East Brunswick, New Jersey. Our goal is to open 20 charter schools across the country, all dedicated to teaching modern Hebrew. We currently have applications submitted for additional schools in New York City, as well as ones in LA and Washington, D.C. In order to be part of our network and receive support from HCSC, our charter schools must commit to 4 essential elements: the proficiency approach, teaching Hebrew and the attendant culture, service learning, and diversity. Schools must use the proficiency approach, which is the gold standard in teaching methodology according to the American Council for the Teaching of Foreign Languages. In this approach, teachers use only Hebrew in the classroom, and the goal is to have students listen to the language as it is naturally spoken and then to begin speaking the language as early as possible. The Hebrew that is taught is modern Israeli Hebrew and is totally secular. There is no religious connection to the language that is taught. The service learning curriculum teaches students to think about the world around them and how to provide service to others. Community projects are developed via an inquiry approach, which teaches students to identify needs in their own community and create projects to address them. All HCSC-supported schools are required to reflect the full range of diversity that exists in their local community. Our schools are community schools where all residents are welcome and encouraged to attend. HCSC only supports schools that commit to our essential elements. Upon authorization, Kavod Elementary will be eligible for $800,000 of grant funds over its first 3 years in operation. HCSC also provides curriculum development for Hebrew, social studies, and service learning, and on-site coaching to train teachers in the proficiency approach and balanced literacy. We provide scholarships for leadership training, teachers to attend workshops, etc.
Thank you.
President Evans, Superintendent Quoba, board members, thank you for the opportunity to speak further about our facilities, governance, and operations at Kavod Elementary. My name is David Yeager. The Kavod board enlisted my assistance to ensure a successful transition from charter development to school opening in the fall of 2012. Our first and most important deliverable is to secure a facility capable of supporting initial enrollment of 270 K through 2nd grade students. Currently, we're exploring several options with the assistance of Dan Marar from Insight Charter School Services. Sites being explored include the 3 sites identified in Appendix N of the petition, as well as other sites that have recently become available. From an operational perspective, we are fine-tuning a project plan to ensure everything from desks and textbooks are ordered to ensuring all staff are trained on Kavod's mission and vision prior to the first day of school. In addition to training for staff, Kavod will partner with CSDC, CSMC, MYM, and other providers for comprehensive training for board members and school leadership on the Brown Act, board roles and responsibilities, academic accountability, and fiduciary responsibility. We will leverage CCSA's annual conference being held next March here in San Diego. All training for staff and board members will focus on the 6 elements identified by the California Department of Education for the creation of high-quality, high-performing charter schools. Those elements are governance training, fiscal management, development of teacher effectiveness measures, meeting and exceeding academic progress goals, student retention, and graduation rate. Financially, Kavod has partnered with CSMC for the initial development of the budget included as Appendix M. For ongoing financial management, Kavod will seek competitive bids from reputable back office providers such as CSMC and XED. The board's focus on their fiscal responsibility has resulted in them revising Kavod's budget since the submission of the initial charter petition. These revisions include a $335 reduction per ADA on the assumption that the governor's tax initiative will not pass in November 2012 and minimizing expenses without compromising the quality of Kavod's educational model. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, President Evans, board members, and Superintendent Quoba. My name is Harriet Herman. I'm board secretary and member of the founding team, former teacher and school administrator. I'm here to give a brief overview of the educational plan for Kavod Elementary. Our strong academic program, aligned to the Common Core standards and to our mission and vision statements, emphasizes the need for differentiated instruction for all students to best realize their greatest success and potential. Our data will inform our instructional interventions. Student achievement goals of Kavod are: students will be proficient readers, writers, and speakers of the English language. Students will demonstrate competency in math, computation, and problem solving. Students will be knowledgeable about U.S., California, world history, and geography, as well as the fundamental concepts of democracy. Students will become proficient in their understanding of physical science, biology, as well as scientific concepts, including analysis, inquiry, and design. Students will become proficient speakers, readers, and writers of modern Hebrew. Exploration of culture, society, and geography of Israel will enrich the study of Hebrew language. Studying of foreign language helps foster greater depth of understanding of English language, with reinforcement of concepts such as grammar, noun-verb agreement, and expanded vocabulary. The framework will use several different teaching models, including the workshop model and also co-teaching, which allow for small group as well as large group and individualized instruction, and those will be based on the assessments that are driven from the data. Embedded into the day is also the professional development, which will be based on those assessments and as the needs are found to adjust accordingly. Coaching, training, and guidance is ongoing, and time will be set aside for teachers to engage in reflective practice, individual planning, as well as collaborative planning. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, President Evans, Superintendent Koba, and the rest of the supporting board and staff. My name is Michael Rosenbaum. I am a board member of Kavod, as well as one of the founding members, currently serving as the treasurer of our group. I am a mortgage lender here in San Diego, and I'm also a resident in Metro San Diego. I live in the Hoover cluster, which is an area in great need of more options, as well as are necessary throughout our county. I have a pretty extensive knowledge of the charter school system. This is my daughter, Noah. Some of you have met her already. She is currently a student at the Old Town Academy Charter School. And as a parent at the school, I'm an active parent participator, providing leadership specifically in our school's charitable foundation. So it's our goal to include some of that leadership in our new endeavor here. In my family, we have dual language household. This has resulted in my daughter, I also have a son at home, that speak both English and Spanish with fluency. I favor more options and diversity for language immersion in public schools in our community. And currently, there are absolutely none that offer Hebrew immersion studies. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Are there any questions or comments from board members? Sure. Mr. Barnett.
Mr. Aguirre, and this is an exciting proposal and option for students in our San Diego. Specifically, because there is mention of receiving grant money for startup and other purposes outside of the state and from the Hebrew Charter School Center, I just want to make sure that when you come back that if there are any conditions that the Hebrew Charter School Center would have on the school that would be more restrictive than our conditions of approval for the charter, that there wouldn't be a potential conflict where down the line their mission is consistent with what we approved, but if a major funder feels like there was some challenge that might affect that funding. And I'm not suggesting that's a problem, I just think it's something that we should look at, what you could look at before you come back and maybe with the charter people before the next board meeting.
Okay.
That's the only question I had.
We'll work to identify those through the capacity interviews, which have already been scheduled for next week. Thanks.
Any other board member questions or comments? Okay.
Could I ask a question?
Sure.
Just curiosity. What's the difference between Yiddish and Ashkenazi kind of a language and modern Hebrew? That's just curiosity.
I'll leave this to the experts.
Moises, can you answer the question? No.
Yiddish is it's like Latin. It's in Greek. It's dead. Old Greek, Old Latin. It's an old language that was brought to Israel when Ashkenazi Jews moved to Israel, and it was a combination of a certain number of languages, and it's kind of a dying language, unfortunately, because people like my grandparents spoke it, and they're no longer with us. You hear parts of Hebrew in Yiddish, but it's a totally different language, and it's something that we use now as like terms of endearment. When you say like oi gewalt, or I called this my spiel tonight because that's like my speech. There's like terms of endearment that you use speckled throughout the language, but it's unfortunately a dying language.
Okay. One of the goals of our district certainly has been language diversity and lots of opportunities for learning various languages, so this is interesting. Okay, no further questions or comments. We will move on from the public hearing to another public hearing to consider the new charter petition to establish the San Diego Charter Conservatory of Music.